When people hear about suicide, they often think of it as something distant, something that happens somewhere else. But the reality is that suicide affects communities locally, including here in East Texas. Across the United States, suicide remains one of the leading causes of death, especially for young people and adults under the age of 45. In Texas alone, more than 4,000 people died by suicide in 2023, which equals roughly 14 deaths per 100,000 residents. But when we look closer at rural regions like East Texas, the numbers often rise. Studies and regional data show that suicide rates in parts of East Texas range from 15 to as high as 30 deaths per 100,000 people, significantly higher than the overall Texas average. Researchers have found that suicide rates in rural parts of Texas can be 30 to 45% higher than in urban areas. There are several reasons experts believe this happens. Rural communities often face fewer mental health providers, longer distances to care, greater stigma around seeking help, economic stress, and social isolation. These factors can combine in ways that make it harder for people to reach support when they are struggling. When we look even closer at Anderson County, the reality becomes even more personal. Local data shows that Anderson County has experienced a notably high suicide rate, estimated at around 34 deaths per 100,000 residents, which is more than double the Texas average. Recent reports have also shown concerning spikes in deaths. In 2025 alone, 55 suicides were reported in Anderson County, the highest number ever recorded for the county. Those numbers represent people from every background: teenagers, parents, workers, veterans, community members. The individuals lost to suicide in that year ranged in age from 16 to 87 years old. But statistics only tell part of the story. Behind every number is a person who is struggling with pain, stress, depression, trauma, or addiction. And one of the most important things research consistently shows is this: most people who struggle with suicidal thoughts do not truly want to die. They want relief. They want understanding. They want the pain they are carrying to stop. That is why education and awareness matters so much. When communities understand the warning signs and are willing to talk openly about mental health, lives can be saved. Prevention does not only happen in hospitals or counseling offices. It happens in everyday places, in churches, in schools, in workplaces, and families. Sometimes suicide prevention begins with something simple: a conversation, a question, a moment where someone chooses to ask, "Are you okay?" Because when silence breaks, hope has room to return. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, help is available. In the United States, you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 24 hours a day. You are not alone, and your story is not finished.